How's it going, everybody? My name is Mark O'Connor. I'm an Irish filmmaker, and I'm making this video today to explain how I ended up in the south of France, in Cannes. It's actually I'm in Grasse, um, trying to make my next movie, which is called We Can, which is kind of ironic. We can or we can't. Who knows? We'll see if I'm going to be able to get this film made. So follow this journey because I'm going to be making several episodes as the film progresses, and hopefully we go into pre-production and into production. But right now, we're still trying to get finance. That's the truth of it. And I'm gonna be very honest in this video and explain exactly like the process of trying to get a movie made. And there's no teleprompter on this. There's no AI. I'm kind of sick of AI, to be honest. Just seeing constant videos on your timeline. And I like to go back to the roots, and I was quite lucky with this script. I came up with this idea for the film 10 years ago, and it was written slowly over time while I was doing other things and making another film, and it kind of developed. But I never used AI in the scripts, and I'm not saying you can't use AI. Of course, now a lot of people are using it for their scripts and for their treatments and log lines and everything. But I just feel kind of lucky that I made it before AI really kicked in. And now I'm really just using AI to give me feedback and to tell me, is it any good? And who knows if it is, but I'm really inspired. I'm really excited by the idea of trying to make it. And that's why I'm here in Grasse, in the beautiful south of France. Stay here. I'll turn the camera around just so you can see where I am, but this is the apartments we're staying in, but this is Grasse here. And a friend of mine has been so kind to give us his apartment for a good price. And so anyway, I'm here with my family, and my son is going to be starting school in a couple of days in France, and I'm all in on this. I'm all in on this, and I've always been with all my films. And I've made films I made one for 1 million, made a TV show for 3 million, wrote and directed a 6-part, and then I made another film, Cardboard Gangsters, for 450 grand, and then I made Stalker, which I have here. I brought down of an old DVD that I never opened. So I made this for 15 grand back in the day, and I think it was Ireland's first crowd-funded feature film. But it starred Barry Keoghan, so you can see Barry there, on this side here, and this is John Connors, who was the lead, and I co-wrote the script with John. Peter Coon in the middle, but Barry ended up going on to massive things, became obviously a huge actor and stuff. But that was one of my first movies that I made for 15. So, I've tried to make movies in several different ways. If you can't get the big budget, just go ahead and find another way. Just no matter what, you got to progress and, try to get your vision onto the screen. And it's been a struggle. Like, I'm not going to lie. It's a real struggle. And especially now these days, with everything that's happened, there's just there's so much content, and people are, watching YouTube, and, so the idea of making a movie it's almost becoming like it's a relic industry in a way. It's a niche industry. But I'm so passionate about it. It's my life. It's like since I was a kid, I've been making films. I made 60 short films, and then I wrote and directed my first feature. And it's, I've obviously grown up watching movies since I was a kid. So it's my absolute passion. And I think the industry will survive. It's always going to be there. Even if it gets smaller, it's still going to be there. It's not the same watching a 1 minute or 2 minute, clip or 30-second thing to sitting down in a cinema and watching like a film with an audience. That's what I love. But so just to get back, because I'll end up just going on rambles if I don't try to stick to what I'm talking about here. So I'm talking about We Can. This is the next film. So I made like 5 feature films. Is it 5? And 1 television series. So this will be my 6th film. We've raised €1 million to make this. It's a comedy drama set in the south of France about Irish people going to Cannes Funnily enough, like it's about them trying to get their film off the ground. So it's almost like reflective of myself a little bit. But I came up with the idea years ago after going to Cannes with my wife and staying in a villa with a bunch of filmmakers and mad people, and it was a great experience, but it was wild. And I said to my wife after, like, this is a film, like this has to be written into a film. And so started developing the script, and eventually after a couple of years brought my cousin on board. And my cousin Robert was amazing because he's very kind of logical, and he works in aircraft leasing, and he's very structured in his approach to writing. So we worked very well together. I was, had these mad ideas, and he kind of grounded me, and we both developed the story, and it developed into something else. And the script in the end was very different to the experience that we had in Cannes. Um, so, so anyway, where am I going with this? What I'm trying to say is that I'm in Cannes right now, and I'm trying to get this movie off the ground. We have 1 million, but we don't have enough to make the film. We don't have enough. We still need another, I think, 200 grand. Um, and no one else is here. The DP wants to come over, but it's too early. You know, I've I've got some crew on board. We've got some great cast on board, which I will explain later on. I'll reveal who are the cast and who are the crew, and a lot more details as we go along. I think this will be interesting about these vlogs or these videos, is the fact that hopefully as the film progresses, I can, explain different things. I can show you different locations. But I have been location scouting around, areas around here which are just absolutely incredible. We're in Grasse at the moment, but I've been looking at Valbonne, and maybe I'll show a little clip right now of a couple of location scouts that I went on. So I went to Valbonne, beautiful, French kind of village close by to Grasse. Went to Paul de Vence. So I've been on different location scouts, and I've been looking at, these beautiful places, and I've been trying to visualize, which scenes can work in which, and I've been mapping it all out. But it's like now we're talking about, do we need to shoot this film in Spain? So we're actually looking at, the Gran Canaria. We're looking at San Sebastian as options potentially, because the budget will stretch a lot further there. So you've got tax incentives in Spain that are much better in France. If you bring an Irish crew to France, you don't get your tax rebate. So, these are things you have to consider when you're making a movie. And obviously the producer, who is working on all of that, Anne-Marie. So I'm just trying to focus on, helping her get the film off the ground, and also, the plan for May. So we're going to be shooting in May, in a couple of weeks, at the Cannes Film Festival. We're going to be shooting for 2 days, and that's just an initial shoot because we're planning to make the film in September. So We Cannes is hopefully going to shoot start of September. So follow this journey, and if you want to watch any of my videos, if you want to watch any of my films, they're all on my channel. You can see clips from my films, or you can see making of documentaries and interviews and whatever, So like and subscribe and comment on this, and I'd love to, try to build an audience and see, from other filmmakers, to see, the journey that you guys are going through trying to make your films, because it's a very hard process trying to get a movie off the ground, but it's so bloody exciting, if you can get there. And the journey is what it's about. It's all about the journey, the creative journey. So just getting back to We Cannes, we're aiming to shoot in May, in a couple of weeks, around the Cannes Film Festival, like 2 days, with the lead actor, but it's really just to capture the festival. So it's something that we have to shoot it. But then when we make the full film, it's going to be interiors, like villa, restaurants, cafes. So a lot of that stuff can be shot potentially in another place with a set dress, So that's what we're looking at. We're looking at, like, is it going to be in France? And I'm kind of like, Jesus, I'm here, in France, and I'm trying to check out locations, and I don't even know if this film is going to get made yet. So this is the craziness of trying to be a filmmaker, the craziness of going all in on something and just believing in something. You have to, and I've done that on all my films, and it's the only way that I've managed to get films off the ground. Like there was times on other films where everyone told me like, there's no way that's going to get made, or what's the point in writing that script? No one's going to fund it. There was one time I remember in Cardboard Gangsters, where the funding was going to run out and the producer pulled out because they said, we're not going to be able to put these documents together. We're not going to be able to close the finance in time. And I literally called up the lead actor and the co-writer, John, and I said, like, let's drive into the city centre and let's just find a new producer. And we've got 1 week to get this all done over the line. And we managed to do it. So half the battle in filmmaking is just going forward all the time. And it's in every stage. Like, it's in the script. You just got to keep pushing forward. Cause it's not like a regular job where you can just wake up and sit back and just, you're working a 9 to 5 and somebody says, you got to do these things. And you go, okay, I'll just do some of those things and then take your lunch break. And, the creative industry, you're constantly on, like, you're constantly thinking, like, and you have to push things forward constantly. So even on weekends and evenings, you're like, or you might get inspired for ideas. So, I'd be texting, the DOP actors and, late at night, and you have to check yourself sometimes as well, because business people don't really like that, so you have to be careful about, sending emails too late at night. But again, getting back to We Can. So the idea is, that we shoot in September, and I need to recce. So I have to do more recce's. So this will be my 6th feature film if we can get this off the ground. And the other ones were, Between the Canals, which was Barry Keoghan's debut, and then I made King of the Travellers, and then I made Stalker, and then Cardboard Gangsters, and then the last film was Amongst the Wolves. And
I have to tell you,
as I said, like, it's been up and down, like,
I swear it was a month.
Serious struggle. It could take like a couple of years to get a film off the ground. And then the last one was kind of, I was waiting for We Can to happen. And, we ended up making Amongst the Wolves as a kind of a side project. It was something that I was kind of working on with my friend Luke, and it was for like a tiny budget. We ended up making that film for 16 grand, like cash. We did 200 grand in deferments. So that film has just been released. It was in cinemas across the US, like Chicago, LA, New York, like a couple of months ago. It's been on all the streaming platforms, and it was in the top 20. It's done really well, but it's only starting to make money now because, we had to pay back, marketing and distribution costs and poster and trailer and all that. So we're going to see if we can actually get this film off the ground or not. But look, guys, thanks a million for listening to this first episode. I'll be uploading, an episode every couple of days, and I'd love to hear from other filmmakers as well in the comment section. Like and subscribe, obviously, to the channel, but, tell me about, if you're going through any, struggles, with trying to finance the film or casting or production or whatever it is. It'd be brilliant to connect with other filmmakers through this. And, I'll be sharing everything on here, from the prep, the things, that you do in prep, like storyboarding and, shot list and everything like that, and more location scouts and everything. And what we can, the journey of from now until prep, and then hopefully if we get to make the movie, it'll be on set, so I'll just be continuing to upload episodes, of this. There's also another, series I have on my channel, which is called The Filmmaker's Journey. It was about like 13 episodes or whatever of that. And that was actually from the last movie we made, Amongst the Wolves. So you can see kind of, behind the scenes on that. But, yeah, so like and subscribe, guys. Thanks a million for listening, and hope to see you guys again at the next episode. Okay, cheers.